US President Donald Trump just sparked a political firestorm right outside the White House. Crowds of angry protesters gathered, chanting and waving signs after the US President announced what he called a crime emergency in Washington, D.C. But this wasn't just about police patrol anymore. Donald Trump decided direct control of city's Metropolitan Police and sent in the National Guard troops to take over the security. Now, for many locals, it felt less like a safety measure but more like a military occupation. Well, the reaction was immediate. City leaders, activists, and residents also accused Donald Trump of crossing the line into authoritarian rule. Well, they say that this was a power grab, an attack on DC's right to govern itself. The Free DC movement, which has long been fighting for the city's independence and statehood, called the move an insult to democracy. And here is where it gets more interesting and controversial. Washington, D.C. has a majority black population, and critics say that Mr. Trump's decision unfairly targets them. They pointed out that crime in the city has actually been growing down and not up. The question is, why the sudden emergency then? Opponents believe that it's political theater, using fear to justify taking control of a city that has often opposed Mr. Trump's policies. For residents, this isn't just about crime stats, it is about history. Washington, D.C. has been denied full statehood for over 200 years, meaning that Congress and now the president can override local decisions. But let me tell you, every single time that happens, well, the frustration grows. And this time the anger spilled into the streets with chants, drums and calls for hand off our city. Mr. Trump, for his part, insists that he is doing what's really necessary just to keep Americans safe. But for many people in DC, this feels less like protection and more like an occupation. The question now is very simple but very explosive. Is this about safety or this is about power? Because in a democracy, when leaders start sending in troops against their own citizens, well, then the line between law and control starts to blur, and that's when people stop feeling safe altogether.